But also, I want to touch back on the pipeline problem, because I think that many companies are in the same place that you are, that they're like, we have tons of developers that just come to us, and you know, it's not my fault that there isn't any diversity in this pipeline, that like I'm just hiring whoever's on my plate. And I love how proactive you guys are about, or you people are about actively trying to change what that pipeline looks like, so that you're choosing from a more diverse group of people.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's real, and it's, if you don't really look at the data, you may not notice the problem. And again, the problem isn't necessarily with where we are today. The problem is a little bit deeper into how people have picked their careers. And there is a gap, as tech jobs were typically taken by, you know, people who grew up playing games, you know, big gamers, which were traditionally, you know, young men who really got into this line of work because of that interest. And I'm sure there's many, many different ways that bring people into that, but it has created a little bit of a bro culture, and that was not necessarily an inclusive culture that other people wanted to be involved with. So you have to be, you know, from my perspective, if you're seeing a very, very certain demographic coming in for any role in your organization, and it's not, you know, a representative of the community in which you live and serve, there's probably a deeper societal problem that needs to be addressed. And so for us, we really wanted to look at ways in which we could help build the pipeline, knowing that it's not going to solve the problem necessarily today, but we're helping to solve the problem as it continues, to make sure that we're changing the trajectory of, we want this, and we want to be out there promoting that we want more diverse candidates in this, and that tech jobs are very well-paid jobs. There's a lot of money in this. So if you want a nice, solid career, tech jobs are great for that. And there's a lot of diversity in the roles within tech jobs too, from product, from project management to quality assurance and engineering. It's not just learning how to code. There's so much more around it. And I think that's a perception that we also want to help change, of you can be in a tech job and not code. I don't know how to code. Granted, I'm the chief operating officer, so I don't have to code. But if I needed to, I bet I could probably figure it out. You don't want me doing that. But
I have no doubt that you could figure it out. Yeah. But I think that you're right in that the issue is something that stems from many, many years, right? Yeah. So solving the problem, there's a lot of great organizations out there working with kids and trying to introduce them to technology, both girls and boys in different communities, and introducing them early so that they see that path. But it's also so important for us to highlight the different types of people working in these jobs, so that when you're interviewing and you're walking into the space, that you see people that look like you, or act like you, or feel like you, that you then can see yourself there. And I think that when I was growing up, I didn't have that I didn't see my path to technology is a lot like our students, that it didn't start anywhere near it.
It was not intentional.
It was not. And you know, I came into this field 5 years ago, and it's always been a part of my life, but I definitely look back and go, why didn't I get a CS degree? Why didn't I go down that road? And I do think a lot of it has to do with the environments that we're growing up with and things like that. Yeah. Which, you know, we can't solve all of the problems. We're going to start with things that we can change. And I think as leaders in the tech industry, looking at the diversity of our organizations is going to help these young women and men from different populations to be able to come into companies and feel like they belong.
Yeah.